So that would be the thing. So, did you have anything else?
I think that's about it for now. I might come back with something.
All right. So I just wanted to
Mm,
go very quickly over some
yeah,
of the things I found on the internet,
yeah.
and I saw this. Did we discuss this last week about how
No,
about how
no, we didn't.
yeah
No, we
how
didn't.
yeah
Yeah,
rugby is now more popular than football, almost two times as much.
bro. They've always been neck and neck. If you really know about rugby, especially European rugby.
But for
So that wasn't
France,
really. Yeah, that wasn't really. Then on top of the fact that of late,
mhm,
the past couple of years, the dip that the French league is actually taking, and
okay,
which wasn't helped by the departure of Mbappe too from that league as well. I wasn't actually surprised. I remember you sent this to me, but it didn't come as a surprise to me, if I'm being totally honest,
I
or
I
shock, should
yeah
I say?
I
Mm,
will try to take a different tack from your position. I mean, what you're saying is factually correct, but I'm talking about football,
of
right?
course.
France is not known for rugby. You know what I mean? Because France is primarily a football nation. Because I watch the Rugby World Cup whenever it comes up. I just try my best. I see countries like Argentina suffering. I see countries like Japan, they struggle. France does okay, but
Mm,
there are no world beaters. Once you meet the All Blacks or somebody serious, then you start to suffer, right? But, you know, the performance at World Cups is okay. I can't call it poor. But for God's sake, how can you be almost doubling football in France? So somebody has an explanation, and the person said something. This is what he said. As somebody, this is a French person, as
mhm,
somebody who grew up here,
mhm,
the switch in popularity from soccer to rugby is 100% absolutely linked to race. Once soccer became seen as a sport for Africans and high socio-economic status French. Okay, as once soccer became seen as a sport for Africans, high socio-economic status
mm,
French people gravitated towards rugby. Now, my initial thought was this is absolutely 100% correct, and I have my first proof. My first proof of this was
right.
the World Cup when France won the
Okay.
World Cup. They came back.
Mm,
That's when they won in Russia. They flew back to France
mhm,
and they held a parade in the stadium, Stade de France, right? And
mm.
that's where that
Yeah,
song.
yeah, of
That's
course.
where they were doing that song, Ramène le coupe à la maison, allez les bleus, right?
Mhm,
And if you listen to the song mentions, because it's like a kind of a giant song, so it mentions the names of
mm,
players. It shouts players out. And
yeah.
if you listen to the song, the first 13 players, 14, 15 players who are mentioned are blacks, right? And in
Mm,
the parade, you see the black players surrounding the musician. And of course, they come, they do their dance. Pogba does, they lift up Kante, Kylian Mbappe,
of course, yeah.
Ousmane Dembele, right?
Kylian Mbappe.
Yeah, exactly. And then you
Mm,
just see the white guys. The white guys are just there at the back, just like looking around, just
mm,
walking. Griezmann is just like trying to keep up, and it's like it's so
yeah.
awkward. You know what I mean? And then in the stadium, it's all white people, and then you're just looking down at these Africans who are
Mm.
allegedly French, lifting the World Cup for your country.
Allegedly.
Right, right. And then, so that's one very easy example to see because there's clearly a divide. The
Right.
black guys are in front, the white guys are in the back. It's not a unified thing. I'll put the video up so that people can see exactly what I'm talking about. And I don't want copyright because copyright really fucks us up, bro.
Mm,
Anyway, the second example is when Algeria won the African Cup of Nations, right?
yeah.
Did you know that there was a serious riot in France when Algeria won?
Okay.
When Algeria won the AFCON 2019, I think. When did Algeria win?
2019. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The
Algerian soccer fans riots in France, woman killed. So just because Algeria won AFCON all the way in Ivory Coast, in fact, it was even the quarterfinals, and then somebody died. High-speed car crash in southern France, Montpellier, Algeria, whatever. 21-year-old driving at high speed killed somebody. There were huge riots. Even in that 2018 World Cup, when France beat Argentina,
yeah.
there was a serious, serious riot. So when you now compare it to what this guy is talking about, understanding that like French people, even though they can't say anything, they do feel displaced from their favorite sport of football, and so they're gravitating more towards rugby. That kind of like you can see it. It reflects more. It looks more French than African,
Mm.
right? What's his name? Paul Pogba. He goes on holiday. He goes to Guinea to see his people. Same thing with Kante too. Recently went to Mali.
Carter goes to Mali.
Yeah, Kylian Mbappe goes to Cameroon. Well, these guys aren't going
Yep.
any fucking where, are they? They don't have any exotic. They don't have any exotic country to go to. So they are here. They are here with them. So I think this is 1,000% accurate. I think this analysis is so correct, and it's a crying shame because funny thing, like in football, in French football, they're like, okay, who are the best players? So what do they say? They say Platini, Zidane, and who? who's the last person? Who are those big
I
three
mean,
names?
French players, yeah. Are
Yeah,
we
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about past? Okay, well,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I
all
mean,
time, all
if you're
time,
talking
all
about
time.
all time, yeah, Thierry Henry is definitely there.
Yeah, okay, so that top
Um,
three, let's call it the Mount Rushmore.
yeah,
What is the Mount Rushmore of
yeah.
France? Let me ask you.
Now, Mount Rushmore. That means there's one more, then I
Yeah, yeah,
guess.
four. Give me the four. I want you to give me the four.
Mm. Um. Wow, that's serious. I mean, Giroud has a shout. He's the all-time greatest scorer for France.
Okay, fine.
Didn't
Okay,
he break their record these days?
okay,
Olivier
okay.
does have a shout then.
Giroud.
But yeah, you might say Thuram or someone like that. I mean, that's really impacted in the World Cup and all that world stage as well, like that. So I don't
Okay.
know. Yeah, it's debatable. But yeah, I would say, yeah, I would say Thuram. Throw him in there.
Okay, Giroud, Thuram. Who else?
Okay, no. I mean, I said if it was a toss-up between Giroud and Thuram,
Okay,
you
Giroud
would
has
have to
four.
think about
Giroud.
who's really impacted
All
more.
right.
Yeah, so Thuram. Yeah, so Thuram, Henry, Platini, and Zizou.
Okay, so
So there you go.
okay, that's a good answer, right? So let's start. Platini is Italian.
Yeah, of
Zidane,
course, yeah,
Zidane is Algerian. Henri is
of course, yeah.
some island boy,
Yeah, he's
and
from yeah,
Thuram is an African.
Guadeloupe.
Yeah, yeah,
Henry is
yeah,
Guadeloupe or whatever. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So
And
so
Thuram is Senegal, if I remember correctly, or
or
something like one of those
something,
places.
one of those places. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So
what are we saying? Yeah, he's also Guadeloupe.
okay, Guadeloupe as well. Yeah,
He's also
okay.
Guadeloupe. So
So there you
what are we doing? So they're all foreigners. So who is the French person? The only person you mentioned is Giroud.
go.
So
Well,
maybe,
yeah, and he didn't even make the cut.
yeah. So maybe there's a reason that they're moving more towards rugby because I think, and I would like to,
Maybe they're trying to own something again. I guess
yeah,
you
because
know.
I
So
would like to end on this just very quickly because I think
mm,
the point of what we're talking about has been made before. But do you remember when Laurent Blanc took over the French national team and he wanted to promote some people from the youth,
mm,
and he
yeah,
said
okay,
he went down to the under 21s and the younger, and he said there's too
right.
many black people. It's like, so his question was,
Mm,
are there is it that there are no white players that we can find? Of course, the media
mm,
will always push the apology, but I want to see the actual thing that he said,
mhm.
because he said, okay, this is blah blah blah. So here's him apologizing, but he did not deny the veracity of the transcript. Okay, so this is what happened. Let's just start from the beginning. The Media Power
Right,
website published a transcript of the meeting in November, in which high-ranking French officials, including Laurent Blanc, discussing introducing quotas for players with dual nationalities. That's a
right.
big issue. I want to just
Yep.
put something up here so that you can see what I'm talking about. France. What's club profile? What?
Oh, I think I know what you're about to put up.
Yeah, but this is strange. But normally, okay, let's detail squad. Normally, it will show the players with their nationalities, right? So if you look at it, anyways, so he wants quotas for players with dual nationalities. He wants the French national team
Yeah.
to look more French. So Laurent
Mm,
Blanc did not deny the veracity of the transcript, in which he said he was very, very much in favor of a quota on dual nationality players,
mm,
and it would be in bad faith to see the debate, blah blah blah. Okay. Was not about reducing the number of blacks and Arabs in French football, but about planning the future of French football and addressing important and delicate problem of players with dual nationalities, as well as methods of scouting and selection for a new playing project. So what he's saying what he's saying, is it not true when you look at what is happening? You understand what I mean? The fact that France now
Yep.
is basically an African team. People make jokes about it, right? What was that homosexual's name? Trevor, right?
Homosexual. Who's that?
Trevor Noah now.
Trevor Noah. Okay, is that what he is?
Yeah. So look, did Africa just win the World Cup? He made a whole bit about it. Even Macron had to come in and say something. But this is what he was basically saying. So like I said, you have to be a bit careful with copyright because YouTube is so annoying. But what is the lie here? You get the impression that we
Well,
please, I'm so sorry. You need
I
to get it.
mean,
Yeah. What?
I think you know my take on this whole for them it's probably a good thing. I don't know. So whether they do a quota or not, I thought the end goal was to win those major tournaments. Like I said to you, my goal on my take on this is simple. I say again, yeah, if my son, like my second boy Ezra,
Yeah.
is playing for a little team now, right?
Yeah.
He's 6 years old, about to be 7 in a few days.
Nice.
If he ever made it, God willing, you know what I mean, because we're
Yeah.
encouraging. There's times where he says he doesn't know if he wants to, but he plays well, he plays quite well. If he ever made it at that level, and bro, he's playing for England. I'm telling. I mean, we've had this conversation already.
I understand.
So, you know,
And
I know you don't. Yeah.
no.
And
I appreciate.
I gave you my reasons. Yeah.
Exactly. We don't even need to go over them. We don't even need to go over them.
Yeah. Exactly. So
I agree.
It's one of them. Like,
Yeah, I agree with your position. And as long as England will take him, it will be fine. We gave the example of Balogun, who England wanted, or let's say England didn't want, right? And America snapped him up, chancing Nigeria, right? And he too looks at it and says, okay, this is the best opportunity for me to do whatever the hell it is I'm going to be doing, right?
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is, when you look at a team, the team should look like the country. That's just what I'm looking at. Like, if I see Japan today, I know it's Japan. Like, I don't need to ask who's from where is this guy really from. So this is what Laurent Blanc was saying. He said, you get the impression that we produce the same kind of players, big, strong, powerful ones. And who are the big, strong, powerful ones? The blacks. It's like that. It's a current fact. This sounds like freaking Django Unchained. It's crazy. So it says we abandon this idea of a percentage of dual nationality players, but we asked ourselves to be vigilant about the players' motivations. Blanc defended himself, said he never heard mention of such a project, but all those words reported remain true. So this is Marwan Shamak, Sebastian Bassong. So Shamak from Morocco, Bassong from Cameroon, Moussasso from Senegal, Yus Belanda from Morocco, Riyad Boudebouz from Algeria. So it's like, okay, see, I see another thing. A number of players have come through French academies in recent years and represented France at youth level, only to then switch allegiances to the senior sides of different countries. So think about what he's talking about here. These 5 players mentioned, right? They take all the training, they take all the representation, they get all the caps, all the experience at that very, very high level, quote unquote. In the meantime, they're taking spaces of French players, right, who should also have the opportunity to progress through the youth national system, right? So they progress, they represented France as under 16, under 17, under 18, under 21, Olympics. Then at senior level, they run back to Africa. So the sports.
let me say, you see, my take on this, yeah, I understand to a certain degree what Laurent Blanc is saying, but at the same time, I think he's there's bits of traces of hypocrisy in there. You know why I say that, yeah?
Right.
If you look at the teams he played in, the French national teams he played in,
Yeah.
if you look at the French national team, for me, from when I started studying and learning about football and going back to educate myself on football from as far back as, you know what I mean, I can remember with regards to World Cups and all that stuff.
Yeah.
If you go back to the French 1982 squad, for example,
Okay.
in the starting lineup, there was probably about 5 players that were non-French, that were non-white per se.
Right.
I'm talking about 1982 here.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like players like Jean Tigana and those players. There was about 4 of them in the starting lineup, maybe even more. Some of them, okay, like we said, Platini is Italian, really, right? Do you know what I mean? Then on top of that, another 4 guys. So that's damn near half the team. So it's not as if he just started now. When Henri them and Lilian Thuram and Zidane and all these black guys in their team, Sylvain Wiltord, all these guys, when they were helping them win World Cups, he didn't have a problem. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So What's all this? I don't know if you get my point.
I get you
It's
want to
okay
allude
when
to.
you see, and now all of a sudden it is an issue for you. If you, like I said, if you go far back as 1982, even
Mm,
this is what I know. If you look at the team, you will see that, especially the starting lineup. I'm not even talking about the
okay,
squad here. I'm talking about the starting lineup. So,
okay.
um,
I'm looking for. I want to try to get the picture of the team of the France
oh,
19.
you had it earlier. There you go. Just click on images. It'll give you a bunch of.
Okay, let's
You
see.
had it earlier. If you pull up any of them, the first one top left. Do you know what I mean? So look at these guys. So
Okay,
look at
so
that. That's this guy here.
this
The
guy.
guy top right is John Tigana. The guy top right. You know what I mean? We already know about Michel Platini. You know.
Yeah,
Who else? Okay, the tall guy I remember is Mark Bossis. Dominic Rocheteau is the guy on the left. This guy to the right of the goalkeeper,
yeah.
he's from Senegal somewhere. Do you know what I mean? Like then the other exactly the one you got the cursor on right now.
Hmm.
So if you look at it, that team, that's damn near 5 players there. Then some of the white guys that look a bit more
Straight.
Arab.
They look
You know what I mean?
strange.
Like it's obvious.
They look
They look
strange.
strange. Do you know what I mean? Basically. So,
Yeah,
so what I'm saying is, I don't know, Laurent Blanc. He knows the history of that country anyways. I don't know why he's all of a sudden. Like I said, he was okay when Henri was and David Trezeguet and those guys are winning stuff for you. You don't have an issue with Zidane scoring the World Cup and you guys lifting the World Cup, even if you didn't play in that finals. You know all these things,
yeah.
and all of a sudden now is an issue.
So
As far as I'm concerned, he should take a
this
seat
is
somewhere,
90.
man.
This is
I don't think
98.
he's justified.
This 98. Let's look
This
at
that's 98.
let's look at 98. Let me
Yes.
see
Okay.
what 98.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess let's just zoom in because my IP is being blocked.
Yeah.
So we have Desailly.
Okay. Yeah. So
Who's this?
1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Is
Desai,
that Turam?
Turam,
Turam.
Zidane. Yeah,
Uh,
that's Turam number 15.
uh,
Vieira.
Vera,
David
Trezeguet,
Trezeguet could have played for
Henry,
Argentina. Trezeguet could have played for Argentina.
and then Henry.
Thierry Henry. That's 6 of them. Yeah.
One, two,
I
three.
think that's probably the.
Yeah, that's six. 6 out of
It's
11.
6. Yeah.
Perez,
Yeah.
Petit,
Yeah. So
Buff.
just to say if he was fit, or is this the World Cup final team? This might be the World Cup final team actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. So it's
So I think this is a whole
even
squad.
Robert Pires. Where did I hear?
Yeah, Perez. Yeah, let's look at
Yeah.
the
So
squad.
look at the squad now. You know what I mean? So people like Karimbu didn't even play. So Karimbu, remember ex Real Madrid.
Yeah,
Yuri Jokaev. Remember him?
yeah,
He
I
played
remember
for
Joker.
Bolton with JJ Okuta. You know, yeah. You know, the other guy is lying right next to the coach on the ground. So, bro, that's a lot of.
Yeah,
You know, there's a guy holding up to someone, scratching his eye on the right far right. He's so.
that looks like Vieira.
I think I made my point.
It looks like Vieira.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, it might be. I
Right.
don't know. Was it?
So
Yeah.
I think
So
definitely. I mean, France needs to look inward for sure.
yeah.
They need to look
Yep.
inward because they had that policy of assimilation. Or all French, all our colonies are French. And for me, I look at it as a sort of neo-colonization because it's like
Okay.
as a Beninois or as a French, or sorry, as a French speaker, your your destiny is to go to France to have what should be a better life for you. They're not truly independent, are they?
Of course. Yeah.
If you get sort of like you remember that our best friend now, what's his name? Obiang. Obiang steals all his country's money and goes to France to spend it all. You get the point.
Right.
So there's this mental block that is there that I think they instilled because it's like I think the British had a different tack. They didn't just come out and say, I mean, they're doing it, but they're not doing it as terribly as France is, where they have an understanding that okay, fine, you are you are our former subjects, come, but at least they had some kind of stricter rules on movement and integration. But France were just like, yeah, come on in, you're all French, sleep with our women. You know what I mean? It's a little bit strange. But I think honestly, this is the final discussion because this is where the story ends, right? For football,
Yeah.
yeah, football is gone. Now it's rugby. So I think that should be the final conversation on this because Germany is doing the same thing. Spain is doing the same thing, and we've covered all that already. So I think we can end it on that.